Hey guys, tonight we're going to step straight into the foggy streets of Victorian London, where survival took wit and a good pair of sturdy boots, kind of like navigating your way through the chaos of a TikTok trend. But instead of balancing on something ridiculous, you might be dodging horse carts and rickety carriages. Just imagine it's late at night. You're wrapped up in a warm blanket, fuzzy socks making your toes all snug, and maybe there's even a gentle hum of your fridge lurking nearby. As we dive into this world, I have to say, out here, you probably won't survive this. I mean, when your biggest problem is how to avoid stepping in horse manure while also figuring out the best spot for a cozy pub, you know you're in for quite a ride. Before you get too comfy, feel free to tap like or subscribe, but only if you're genuinely enjoying the calm around here. I love to see my cozy crew grow. So tell me where you're listening from and what time it is over there. I'm always amazed at how far our sleepy little journey reaches. Now, go ahead and lower the lights. Maybe let a fan hum in the background, and let's drift gently into tonight's story together. You wake up, or perhaps just open your eyes to find yourself in the heart of 19th century London. The air carries a hint of soot, mingled with the distant aroma of fried fish and the unmistakable scent of coal smoke curling through the night. Your feet slide into your trusty, perhaps slightly worn boots. Thank goodness you skipped those impractical shoes, right? A chill weaves through the alleyways, inviting both shivers and wonder as you venture out into the bustling streets. As you step outside, the fog wraps around you like a lumpy old quilt. It almost feels comforting, like a big urban hug. If only it weren't so filled with shadows and mystery. You might notice that being a Londoner during this time means learning to navigate a social structure that can resemble a game of musical chairs, but with more rats and fewer happy tunes. Speaking of rats, did you know that some cities in Victorian times had actual rat catchers who were more famous than some politicians? Yeah, you heard that right. You wander around the cobbled streets and you can't help but chuckle a little. Who would have thought that someone like Jack Black, no, not the actor, but the famous rat catcher, could be seen as somewhat of a celebrity? He coined the phrase, "One rat a day keeps the doctor away," which might be more than a little gross. But hey, it was probably the best advice they had at the time. But wait, here's where it gets even wilder. Historians still argue whether Jack's fame was due to his rat-catching prowess or the dramatic flair he brought to his job. Did he juggle rats as a publicity stunt? Who knows? But it sounds like a show that would merit a ticket. Imagine the TikTok videos trending if he were around today. Ratcatcher life would have racked up millions of views, attracting both fans and critics alike. Right now, you wander down a street lit by flickering gaslights, their glow illuminating the intricate architecture of shopfronts, selling everything from baked goods to strange medicinal concoctions. By the way, if you thought modern advertising was weird, wait until you hear about Victorian cures for everything. They mixed curative tonics with whatever they could find. Think snake oil, but with more questionable ingredients. You know, stuff like opium and bizarre herbs, marketed with gusto like today's detox teas. Walking further, your ears pick up the rhythm of horse hooves echoing against the cobblestones. Such a unique soundtrack. Imagine the cacophony of bellowing cries from the vendors, the clattering of carts, and the occasional "watch out" as a horse almost catches you off guard. As comforting as the city sounds may seem, all of this could tip over into chaos at any moment. Kind of like a group chat that starts with a simple question, but quickly spirals into 50 replies about breakfast choices. You feel yourself absorbing this vibe, riding the wave of London's lively hearts. Okay, so here's the wildly interesting part. Did you know that public baths were all the rage during this period? That's right. The concept of cleanliness was still under construction, and many folks took to the public baths for both hygiene and socializing. However, the experience could be equal parts refreshing and mildly terrifying when you consider the sheer amount of, well, let's say humanity in close quarters. You could engage in a gossip session with your neighbors, but don't mind that half bath, half social mix. It could get a little intimate, shall we say. Historians still engage in long debates about the social dynamics of these places. Were they a treasure trove of friendships, or just a hotbed of gossip and awkward encounters with your in-laws? You might giggle imagining someone floating around in a communal tub, striking up a conversation about politics in between floating soaps. Talk about an icebreaker. As you continue to walk, dodging folks engrossed in their conversations, you pass by a tiny shop selling galoshes. How classic. Galoshes, once vital for rainy days, were the unsung heroes of Victorian life, giving a whole new meaning to fashion statement. You can't help but chuckle at the thought of wearing rubber over your everyday footwear just to make it through a puddle. The contrast of their rather unique style with the polished boots of the upper crust is just as amusing as scrolling through fashion TikToks today. Honestly, if galoshes had a social media manager, they'd be begging for a comeback. But hey, maybe they're best left in dusty storage, a relic of practicality, the ultimate conversation starter over coffee. So there you are, smirking at the world around you, with your slightly soggy sense of humor, trying to figure out whether to join in on a bustling pub, or just to wander further through this maze of history. You really can't resist stopping by a nearby bakery, tempted by the tantalizing smell of fresh pies, probably filled with something more peculiar than meat. You take a deep breath, contemplating whether you should venture inside or just grab a street snack and take your chances. But before diving down this rabbit hole, imagine just how many weird combinations you'd have to try out. Not unlike those experimental food challenges mingling on Instagram. But tomorrow, you're going to have to muster the courage to navigate this maze of culinary curiosities, wandering further into the unknown. As you weigh your options, you wonder, what awaits you next in this tangled web of Victorian life? Are you ready to brave the city's wild side? Or will you cozy up with a pie, letting the stories swirl around you like the fog? Whichever path you choose, you feel the charm of this written on the street's time pulling you in, wrapping you snugly in the haze of its gripping adventures. Take a moment to enjoy this curious world and the unlikely friendships that come with it. And who knows, you might just emerge not only with an understanding of survival in Victorian London, but also a few wild stories to share. But first, settle in, because this journey has only just begun. You decide to pop into the little bakery, a cozy haven that beckons with the promise of warmth and delightful pastries. As you step inside, the bell above the door jingles cheerily, and the comforting scent of freshly baked bread embraces you like a hug from an old friend. The rustic wooden shelves display an array of treats that look like they were crafted by mischievous little fairies with an addiction to sugar. You can't help but chuckle at the sight of a pie so perfectly round that it seems like a great contender for an award in any baking contest, if only the judges weren't busy huffing through coal dust. You approach the counter, where a matronly lady stands, hands dusted with flour and a warm smile that could melt even the coldest hearts. "What'll it be, love?" she asks, her eyes twinkling. You glance at the menu. It's a delightful mix of meat pies, sweet pastries, and something called pigeon pie. Ah yes, a classic Victorian delicacy. You contemplate ordering one, thinking of the TikTok videos showing daring taste tests. Would you be the brave one, or the wise person who avoids avian surprises? Historians still argue over whether pigeon was considered gourmet, or just what was available after a long day in the city, but you decide to stick with something a bit more conventional. You opt for a warm meat pie, hoping it's not the infamous concoction that made its rounds in local gossip. As you wait, you can't help but notice the quirky side conversations happening around you. A couple of gentlemen are arguing about the best walking stick styles, while a gaggle of children runs in, giggling and nearly knocking over a stack of flour bags. A real-life YouTube blooper moment. It's charming, and you can't help but smile, envisioning how this bustling scene would fit into the ever-curious realm of modern social media. With your pie finally in hand, hot and steaming, you leave the bakery feeling as mighty as a knight with his shield. You navigate the cobbled streets, taking tiny bites while eyeing the ragtag crowd around you. Traders, hawkers, and even a few musicians playing lively tunes. The city is alive, singing its own song, filled with stories that dance around just as much as the colorful characters roaming the streets. Suddenly, you overhear a conversation between two umbrella salesmen, debating about the best materials. "I swear by silk," one splutters passionately, while the other rolls his eyes like it's the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard. You might as well use tinfoil. Nobody's buying silk in a rainstorm. You can't help but think of friends arguing about which streaming service has the best shows. Honestly, the bickering is timeless, isn't it? You feel that spark of curiosity ignite inside you, the way it does before diving into a new series. What quirky characters are hiding in the shadows of this Victorian tale? As you cross the street, the sound of a horse-drawn carriage pauses your thoughts. Did the driver just adjust his hat dramatically, like a character on a stage? You burst into laughter, wondering if he's auditioning for some Victorian drama, with the neighbours as the judging audience. As you dive deeper into the cityscape, your thoughts turn to the realities of the time. You've heard tales of poverty and struggle, but also incredible resilience. Historians are still trying to hash out how societal shifts came about during this period. Was it the Industrial Revolution that led to the class divide, or prior social structures that set the stage for this chaos? You secretly start drafting your own theory while nibbling at your pie, imagining becoming an expert on this time. Maybe there's a viral TikTok account in it for you. With your pie devoured and your curiosity piqued, you decide to wander toward the Thames. Looking down at this river, flowing like a long grey ribbon through the city, brings on a wave of introspection. It's the same river that pulled together marketplaces, transported goods, and even served as a route for those mysterious black market dealings that everyone knew about, but no one dared to admit to. Upstream, narratives of smugglers blending with traditional merchants dance in your mind, weaving stories of survival among the underbelly of London. While you stand there, contemplating the intertwined lives and histories of the city, you briefly imagine that you could plunge into the depths of the river and emerge on the other side with answers to all of history's questions. But, that might not shake out well. Perhaps the water would just make you soggier than your fuzzy slippers after an epic rainstorm. In your reverie, you notice a group of women huddled together, their laughter sprinkling joy like confetti on the wet ground. They discuss the latest social events, making outlandish claims about the fanciest balls, and judging each other's gowns with all the fervour of an internet comment section. "Did you see Lady Fenton in that hat?" one exclaims, arms gesticulating as if she suffered a personal loss. You chuckle, thinking this could easily translate to today's Fashion Week hot takes, only with fewer hashtags. You stroll alongside them, tuning into snippets of their gossip. They talk about the rising popularity of gaslighting in the homes of the rich, something that sounds so revolutionary, yet mildly terrifying. Imagine flicking a switch and having light at your command. It's almost like controlling the brightness on your phone screen. Except if you squint, you might discover a coal-soaked spirit lingering in the corner, yearning to delve deeper into every fascinating aspect of this time. You find yourself wandering toward a local pub, where the evening promises warmth, camaraderie, and more tales that interweave with the everyday struggles of life in London. There's an open door, and the laughter spills out onto the cobblestones, inviting you in for just another sip of history, while you cozy up for the wild stories waiting to wrap around you like a familiar blanket. As you cross the threshold into the warmth, you're greeted by the sight of mismatched tavern benches filled with patrons, tales drifting together like smoke from a wood fire, and the aroma of hearty stews filling the air. You join this vibrant scene, ready to discover one last taste of what it meant to thrive in such a unique and sprawling landscape. Grab your favorite vintage drink and settle in, because this is just the first sip of what a night in Victorian London holds. As you find your spot in the cozy pub, you settle onto weathered wooden benches that have seen better days, probably back when gas lamps first flickered in the streets. The walls are lined with faded paintings, almost like snapshots of bygone revelries, and you can hear an old fellow at the bar regaling a young man with tall tales of his escapades. Honestly, your heart skips a beat at the thought of these moments, a blend of laughter and life all wrapped up in a warm embrace of camaraderie. It feels like snuggling up with a good book on a rainy day. You glance toward the bar and see a chalkboard listing the day's specials, each dish sounding more enticing than the last. You spot pea soup with curried snails chilling right next to beer-battered cod. You can't help but chuckle and think, who exactly was the visionary behind curried snails, and why would anyone dare to order it? It sounds like something conjured up by that friend who always tries to make dinner interesting with bizarre combinations. Remember that time they tried pickles on pizza? Now that's a culinary adventure. The jovial atmosphere is infectious as you take in the lively chatter around you. Nearby, a group of ladies are deep in discussion, animatedly gesturing with their hands as they share the latest gossip about fashion trends. Did you hear? It's all about those massive crinolines this season. One lady exclaims, her eyes sparkling. The bigger, the better. You can't help but giggle at the thought, kind of like how people today have noisy debates about which influencer has the best skincare routine. The stakes seem equally high. As the warmth of the fire wraps around you, you take a moment to reflect on how much has changed, and yet how certain things always stay the same. Historians still ponder whether this era's unique fashions were a powerful statement of independence, or simply a symbol of social status. Did those crinolines really empower women, or were they just a cumbersome addition designed to keep ladies from running away too fast? You envision someone tripping over a particularly extravagant crinoline, spiraling into a cascade of laughter. There's always a need for lightness everywhere. A more seasoned patron at the bar seems particularly invested in his ale-themed discussion. You catch snippets of trivia sprinkled among the banter. They're debating which brew was the finest in all of London, a topic that's bound to inspire spirited arguments for hours. "Ah, but you can't beat a good porter," he roars, gesturing with his mug like a conductor leading an orchestra. It's smooth, hearty, and really does warm the soul. Feeling adventurous, you consider joining the conversation. After all, what's a cozy evening if not filled with delightful debates? So you lean across the table and chime in. But how about a good hearty stout? You can't convince me otherwise. The table erupts in laughter, and suddenly, you're part of the fold. It's as if these spirited folks have adopted you, treating you like an old friend who's just returned from a long voyage. The warmth is palpable, and you can't help but feel a twinge of nostalgia, imagining all the gatherings that have transpired here, similar to those Saturday night get-togethers that stretch into the early hours. You continue to exchange jokes and hearty opinions with your new companions. The debate about ales morphing into a discussion about the best types of pie served in the pub, which quickly becomes a lively discussion on the oddities of Victorian dining customs. You mention the peculiar dishes like roasted hedgehog, and you giggle as one fellow feigns fainting at the thought, declaring that only the bravest soldiers could tackle such a meal. You couldn't help but laugh, recognizing that perhaps this is the Victorian version of today's "I can't believe people actually eat that" TikTok trend. With every sip of ale and bite of bread, you feel the stories swirling around you, the struggles of daily life intermingled with moments of joy and laughter. The atmosphere feels like a warm hug from a friend after a long day. You find yourself lost in a tale shared by an elderly gentleman who recounts his time working as a lamplighter, patrolling the streets to ignite the very lights that now dance across the room like fireflies. How breathtaking. However, not all lamplighters' tales have happy endings. Historians still argue whether the profession was glorified or merely a back-breaking job that had folks risking their lives atop rickety ladders, a debate that would fit perfectly on social media. Not worth it, or sign me up. You chuckle at the thought of modern-day influencers arguing over the validity of obscure jobs from the past, while precariously perched upon their designer chairs. As the night wears on, lively music drifts in from the back of the pub, and you see a small group gathering near the fire, ready to share songs that have echoed through the ages. The piano begins to play some familiar old tune, and you find yourself drawn to the melody. Every note seems to wrap around you like a familiar song from your childhood. You bob your head to the beat, and before you know it, the patrons join in, voices weaving together, mingling with laughter and the contagious joy of the moment. This sense of connection resonates deep, even in a city as vast as London, where the streets could swallow you whole. It feels like you're home, cradled in a cocoon of warmth and shared tales. Everyone here has navigated challenges, just like you, sitting in a cozy nook at the end of a long day, and yet, somehow, you all share in the delightful harmony of life. Tomorrow is another day, but tonight belongs to the steady rhythm of laughter, warmth, and those little serendipitous moments of joy. As you soak in the atmosphere, you consider that soon you might need to navigate back through the streets, but that thought only lingers for a moment. Instead, you lean into the stories whispering around you, the laughter weaving a tapestry of connection, pulling you into this adventure where the heart of Victorian London beats vibrant, wild, and unexpectedly hopeful. With the ale raising your spirits and the night young, you can't wait to dive deeper into this moment, ready for whatever charming surprise awaits just around the corner. So raise your glass, because you're not just surviving this night, you're living it, right in the heart of history, where every laugh is a connection to the past, a reminder that community, even amidst hardship, can shine brighter than the gas lamps illuminating the night. As you settle deeper into the ambience of the pub, the music carries you beyond the cobblestone streets, and gaslit alleyways of Victorian London, wrapping you in a timeless embrace. The sounds of laughter, singing, and clinking glasses create a cozy soundscape that feels like the perfect lullaby to your thoughts. You take another sip of ale, and it warms your insides like a good story shared with an old friend. The lively sing-along continues as seated patrons join in, harmonizing with surprising gusto. You can't resist tapping your foot along to the rhythm. Honestly, it's the kind of scene that would be fun to capture on social media. Pubs in London may be paired with a caption about spontaneous joy and great company, but for now, the thought of your phone feels almost out of place amidst this vibrant, communal experience. You realize how rare it is to be surrounded by strangers who feel like friends, meeting each other's eyes and smiles, sharing warmth in the chilled evening air. You scan the crowd, taking in the varied characters. There's an elderly gentleman with a shimmery bowler hat, a woman clad in a boisterous plaid gown, and a young couple leaning in close, sharing secrets amid the joyful chaos. You chuckle softly as you see one man, clearly drowning in excitement, stand up on a chair to spin tales that could entertain a gathering for hours, like a scene straight from a Dickens novel. It's honestly hard to believe that perhaps only a few hundred years ago, this very pub might have welcomed entire families or business folks discussing the latest innovations or events of the day. A time when the only iPhones around were the quick wit and barely contained laughter. Innovation, you muse inwardly, suddenly considering the adventurous spirit of this era. You hear snippets of conversations about inventions paving the way for modern conveniences. Folks discuss the wonders of the steam engine and the railways that are changing how they connect with loved ones. Can you imagine, someone says, you could travel to the next city in a couple of hours. What will they think of next? Historians still argue about how much these innovations contributed to society's transformation. Was it progress for all or the beginning of a widening gap? The age-old debate of efficiency versus emotional connection. As feelings of camaraderie wrap around you like your favorite blanket, you think about the advancements in communication. Back in the day, making plans with friends took mountains of effort. Yet here you are, living in a time where texts can flow like a chit-chat over ale. Although you'd bet your last pie that those written letters left room for some good-natured drama. Wouldn't you love to see a documentary highlighting the thrill of waiting for a letter in the mail, filled with gossip and updates? Today on History's Mailroom, you laugh to yourself, allowing your imagination to run wild. Feeling more relaxed, you lean back to enjoy the music, fully absorbed in the tales shared. Beneath the laughter, stories weave together, creating a rich tapestry of lives that mirror your own experience. You think back to your day-to-day challenges and how ultimately connecting with others reminds you, now more than ever, that shared humor and kindness can be life's truest treasures. In this moment of reflection, you notice that the barmaid moves around with a kind of grace. It's a reminder of how even the smallest tasks can feel monumental when drenched in the camaraderie of the crowd. It's as if she's playing a social orchestrator, pouring drinks as efficiently as an influencer delivers cut-rate coffee advertisements that somehow still find a place in your heart. You won't believe this pumpkin spice. Time passes, and the night's energy has a life of its own. Before you know it, there's an impromptu dance forming. Two individuals breaking out in jovial jig moves that invite others to join in. You laugh, half tempted to join, until you remember your unshakable balance is pivotal only when it comes to sidewalks, not the hallowed ground of dance floors. Not today, you chuckle, shaking your head, which elicits a few sympathetic nods from other onlookers who seem to appreciate your decision all too well. As laughter bubbles through the air, someone rears back to poke fun at those daring enough to dance. Let's give a round of applause to our brave souls, shall we? They've embraced the chaos like true Victorians. The crowd erupts into cheers, and you can't help but feel the contagious exhilaration of upheaval in the air, like the heady anticipation of Netflix releasing a new season that you can't wait to binge after a long week. Then, a sharply dressed young man jumps up and announces a new round of singing, asking those willing to join to step forward. He's full of bravado, charming the crowd as if he's rehearsing for some grand theatre performance. He belts out a familiar ballad, the kind that resonates through your bones, tugging at those heartstrings you didn't even realize were there. Before long, it seems the whole room is transformed into a chorus, coming together for a sing-along that definitely wouldn't fly in any regular establishment these days. If anyone did this at a trendy cafe now, they'd surely face peculiar stares and cringy TikTok reactions. But hey, you think, what's life without a bit of chaos and harmony? As you sway to the melody, you scan the faces around you. The delight, the nostalgia on some, the youthful exuberance on others, all united by a shared moment, an elusive happiness that lingers in the air like the haze of cigar smoke. For tonight, everyone is part of something special, and that warmth settles into your heart. The sheer joy of being alive in a time and place that seems to transcend the ordinary. Gradually, as the chorus of voices fades, you feel the need to take in the night as a whole. You glance toward the window, where shadows dance along the glass, reflecting fleeting moments in their own special way. You realize you've struck a balance today, both adventure and ease, warmth and whimsy. Before heading out into the night, you know this lively pub will linger in your mind, like a favorite memory that pets your heart and whispers, "Come back soon." You look forward to the next adventure, while the camaraderie of this Victorian evening wraps around you like a well-worn blanket, leading you gently into the cool night air, ready to embrace whatever comes next in this magnificent tapestry that is life. The streets await, and tomorrow holds promise. But for now, you relish the lingering magic of this autumn evening, stepping into the unknown, but stepping forward with a heart full of laughter and warmth. Stepping outside, the brisk air greets you with a refreshing chill, and you take a moment to fully appreciate the vibrant energy of a London night. The gas lamps flicker like tiny stars in this urban constellation, illuminating the cobblestone streets with a warm, golden hue. So different from the harsh artificial lights of today, you take a deep breath, letting the coolness fill your lungs, feeling the past and present collide in this wondrous city. As you wander away from the pub, you mentally replay the evening's whimsical moments, absorbing them like the first sip of a delightful tea. The laughter, the songs, and the friends, made over shared pies, all resonate within you. A delightful reminder that connection thrives in the most unexpected places and times. You lightly tap your boot against the pavement, a rhythm pulsating through you much like the vibrant pulse of this city that thrives on stories. You roam through the labyrinth of alleyways, glancing at intriguing shopfronts where the window displays showcase goods that tell tales of their own. There's something charming about a dusty old shop selling leather-bound books, their covers adorned with intricate designs that hint at the adventures waiting within. You can't help but feel a twinge of nostalgia at the thought of someone walking down these very streets thousands of nights ago, poring over the same stories. Honestly, would life even be the same without those accidental discoveries of old favorites? And then, out of the blue, you stumble across a small gathering, illuminated by the soft glow of a few lanterns, a group of street performers setting up for an evening show. How intriguing. They wear mismatched clothing that somehow works, with flourishes of vibrant colors and whimsical accessories, much like the creative chaos of a DIY TikTok costume party gone splendidly right. You're practically drawn like a moth to their artsy flame, feeling the anticipation rise, and suddenly you're struck by the thought that this city is truly a place of endless folklore and enchantment. This diverse little troupe begins their performance with a twist of comedic banter, weaving between silly quips and miraculous feats. The crowd gathers, giggling and clapping as they juggle flaming torches, dance energetically, and crack jokes that make many chuckle heartily. You can't help but think how this is just a snippet of the vibrant tapestry of communal life, much like the feeds we scroll through, always seeking that perfect blend of joy and absurdity. Wherever you turn in London, it seems, stories flourish beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to come to life. One performer, a wiry fellow with wild hair and twinkling eyes, catches your attention as he launches into a riveting tale about the real London, the strange, extraordinary secrets hiding amongst its streets. He speaks of ghosts that linger in alleyways, of restless spirits still fretting over lost love, and of wandering souls attempting to find their way home. You look around at the rapt faces, every eye captivated, every ear eager to soak up the magic of his words. You whisper to the person beside you, a friendly traveller from the countryside who seems just as enchanted by the performance. You think ghosts were just bored and looking for an audience? The traveller chuckles, nodding in agreement. What else would they do all day? It's this light-hearted banter that bonds you just as easily as in the warm confines of that little pub earlier, proving that shared laughter knows no time or distance. As the performance unfolds, you lean in closer, absorbing each word spoken. The storyteller weaves tales of daring adventurers and merging forces of light and darkness, vivid imagery swirling like the fog once again rising over the Thames. You sense the magic of life breathed into each character, and you can't help but respect the timeless energy passed from one performer to the next, generations set aglow with countless stories. Historians still argue about the absolute origins of these tales, the performer says, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Are they rooted in truth or merely embellished for amusement? You ponder this notion, embracing the idea that life itself can be a blend of wild exaggeration and intellectual truth. A bit like the influencers of today, their curated snippets straddling the line between reality and performance art. You chuckle to yourself at the thought, imagining Victorian influencers creating some wild amalgamation of playwrights and poets, fueled by ale and the desire for grandeur. The musicians begin to play soft melodic chords, interspersed with the comedian's laughter as the crowd shifts to join in. You feel the energy swell, like a wave washing over you, encouraging everyone to engage. The jovial atmosphere reignites that adventurous spark inside, and you sway to the rhythm, lost in the sheer joy of community. For a moment, it feels like you're not a transient passerby, but part of something much larger. Eventually, the show draws to a close, with wild applause and a roaring cheer from the audience. The performers beam, their faces glowing from the sheer thrill of entertaining and connecting. You find yourself drawn into the moment, clapping alongside everyone else, feeling that shared exhilaration course through the air, reminding you that you're part of this dance of life, where laughter and joy can erupt unexpectedly. As the crowd begins to disperse, you linger a little longer, wanting to soak in every last drop of this enchanting evening. You overhear snippets of conversation, the street tales leading to whispered plans about the next gathering, and suddenly you find yourself drawn into a group discussing what fun events might come next in this unpredictable, vibrant city. It's as if you've stumbled into a piece of history, the heartbeat of the community echoing around you, and you feel elated, connected almost as if you're living in a grand historical novel, one filled with ineffable magic, life, and resilience. As you turn to continue your journey, you gaze out at the Thames, the shimmering light reflecting against its surface like stars scattered on dark silk. Taking a deep breath, you soak in this moment, a blend of past and future. You realize how comforting it can be to embrace even the unknown, how life, with all its charming quirks, is best lived by sinking into every delightful encounter. With the glow of the lamplights fading behind, you walk along the riverbank, reflecting on how there is so much left to explore in this vast city. You've woven together threads of ancient tales, vibrant performances, and narratives shared amidst friends, moments shimmering in the tapestry of Victorian London. You can't help but smile, feeling a renewed sense of connection to this world, and whisper softly to yourself, in every corner, every laugh, there lies a story waiting to be discovered. So you step forward into the unknown, fueled by new perspectives, eager for what awaits. With your heart brimming with anticipation and your mind dancing through the threads of history, you know that life's small adventures, and the big ones, await just around the bend. The night is still young, and as you continue your journey, you feel the whispers of history guide your path into the magical horizon that is yet to unfold. With the gentle hum of the Thames flowing beside you, you stroll along the riverbank, lost in contemplation about everything this city has offered so far. A blend of history and whimsy, laughter and fleeting friendships. The cool night air feels refreshing against your cheeks, bringing you back to the present and igniting that adventurous spirit once again. There's a little sparkle in your step as you make your way down the cobblestone paths, thinking of how each step you take echoes with stories that could fill countless lifetimes. As your feet carry you further, you come across a small gathering spot, dotted with crooked benches and a makeshift stage where a solo performer is setting up. The area is illuminated by strings of flickering lights, casting a whimsical glow that reminds you of twinkling stars tangled in branches. Drawn in by the energy, you settle down on one of the benches, soaking in the ambience as the crowd around you mingles with friendly smiles and chatter, reminiscent of the conviviality you just left behind in the pub. You watch as the performer, a young woman with a cascading mane of curls and a bright red shawl, takes center stage, her presence commanding attention with an air of confidence. She introduces herself in a voice that carries warmth. Good evening, lovely people. Tonight, I'll be sharing a tale inspired by the very heart of our city. The crowd quiets, drawn in, and you lean forward, intrigued. Her story begins with the epic whining of a fabulously mischievous cat called Lord Whiskers, who stirs up chaos all across Victorian London. You can't help but snicker as she weaves a comical narrative depicting the adventures of this feline as he jaunts through alleyways, slipping away from the clutches of naive owners while embarking on hilarious escapades that only a cat could conjure. Did he steal a scone from an unsuspecting old lady? Most certainly, she exclaims, prompting bursts of laughter from the audience. As she spins her yarn, you can't help but feel the twinkle of shared experiences among the patrons. It's like hearing tales from your own childhood brought to life, stirring up memories that linger like sweet fragrances. you reflect on how wonder can manifest in everyday narratives, the kind where fantastical elements blend seamlessly with life's sometimes boring reality. Historians still debate the significance of storytelling in building community. Was it a social glue that bound people together, or a way to escape the monotony of daily life? You ponder this lightly, but quickly dismiss that thought. After all, isn't that the charm of the evenings? Those mundane reflections that create connections through laughter and joy. Just as our friend Lord Whiskers found his own mischief, we too can find our way in unexpected situations, you chuckle to yourself, pushing those heavy thoughts away to drift along with the current of entertaining tales. As the story unfolds with light-hearted puns and lively gestures, you find yourself becoming enchanted all over again. Lost in laughter, a sense of camaraderie bubbling among the crowd. You see familiar expressions of glee and warmth mirrored all around you. The joy of shared moments vibrating through the air as everyone resonates with the anecdotes. A child in front of you giggles, captivated by the antics of the whiskered protagonist, and you smile back. Moments like these are often simple, yet they hold strange magic. Once the story wraps up, applause erupting wildly from the audience feels almost electric. The kicker, however, is that the lone performer is not finished just yet. In the aftermath of her tale, she encourages the audience to share their own stories, inviting laughter, joy, and humility to echo even wider. A brave soul from the back stands up to share an embarrassing moment involving a red-faced frog leaping into a tea party. The laughter spills out merrily. Everyone is quick to contribute, casual stories blending together, creating a magical tapestry of anecdotes born from a coast of worlds. Realizing you have yet to share your own quirky adventure, you feel that familiar urge to jump in. After a heartbeat of hesitation, you decide to stand up, your heart racing a little. I once tried to cook a meal for friends, only to mistake salt for sugar in the recipe, you call out with a sheepish grin, thinking of those horror stories about culinary disasters. Needless to say, dessert was a bit salty that night. The laughter that follows lights up your spirit even more, reminding you that vulnerability weaves bonds among strangers. The crowd continues to share the absurd, endearing tales that echo along the riverbank, unexpected moments that weave together the threads of your lives, binding you all in the fabric of shared experience. You feel joy bubbling in your chest, affirming the beauty of simple connections that outshine even the most extravagant lights. After a while, the crowd thins a little. Some people headed home or to other pubs, where tales await to unfold, and you find comfort in the knowledge that the night continues to bring people together. As the elegant moon rises over the Thames, you notice how beautiful everything looks. A soft glow, almost like the world is bathing in a gentle washing of dreams. With your feet feeling those familiar cobbles underneath you again, you reflect on the day, how each story you heard, each laugh you shared, added layers to your understanding of this vibrant world. So many characters glowing in their own lights, a multitude of lives intersecting just for a moment to create something more profound. You continue to walk alongside the river, finding solace in the gentle lapping of the water against the shore. The sounds of music fade into the background, but you're filled with contentment, buoyed by the warmth that radiates from the people you've encountered so far. Just then, you spot a small market still bustling with life, a late-night gathering still vibrant with merchants peddling colourful fabrics, trinkets, and oddities. The air is rich with the scent of warm chestnuts and something truly unique. Perhaps a spice fragrance that would surely ignite curiosity in anyone passing by. The brightness from the stalls reminds you of those random late-night online shopping sprees, buying trinkets to brighten up your living space or gift a friend the perfect oddball piece. You wander through the market under the moonlight, stumbling over fantastical items for sale, wondrous baubles that shimmer, quirky hats that scream of characters, and odd, historical gadgets that make you wonder how they were truly used. Your eyes flit over each merchant's wares, capturing the imagination of your childhood, where every corner held whisperings of magic. Then, you spot a small contraption, a mechanical bird that flutters its wings as if attempting to take off, tethered to a little wooden stand. The intricate craftsmanship leaves you marveling, and you find yourself drawn in again, pondering the stories these artifacts could tell if they could talk. Historians often debate the origin of such curiosities. Were they merely trinkets of artistic whimsy, or clever gadgets once used to amuse children? The possibilities abound, and you can't help but smile at the thought of the whimsical tales that could stem from a little machine like that. You decide to engage with the merchant, a kindly older gentleman whose eyes sparkle with enthusiasm as he shares the history of the piece and its significance. You listen, captivated by the passion he imparts, and you wonder how delightful it must be for him to share the enchantment of his craft with curious souls wandering by. Eventually, you make a purchase, not just of a charming piece of history, but of a connection that captures that fleeting moment. Clutching your trinket close, you feel the love for the stories it represents, a humble reminder that behind every little curiosity lies a past thriving with rich narratives, each with the power to spark joy. As you continue to wander through the night, the world around you pulses with life, where rich tales hold hands with the whispers of history, creating wonder for those willing to look, lean in, and feel. The air is alive with shared moments, remnants of laughter lingering like the faintest scent of a warm hug or the fragrance of delicious memories. The evening is still unfolding, and you're determined to embrace whatever enchanting adventure lies ahead, wrapped up in the wonder of this Victorian dream infused with whimsical delight, forever chasing the stories yet to be found, all blending together to compose the beautiful symphony of life. As you stroll away from the bustling market, the little mechanical bird nestled securely in your pocket, there's a new bounce in your step. With each turn of the cobblestone path, you feel invigorated by the night's encounters, reveling in the collective heartbeat of London that seems to pulse beneath your feet. The streets hum with anticipation. It's as if the very city itself is alive with tales waiting to be discovered. Adventures unfolding like the pages of a book never quite closed. You wander, allowing your path to twist and turn, guided by instinct rather than a map. The sound of laughter floats on the night air, mingling with the rhythm of distant music, and you allow yourself to be drawn toward what feels like another lively gathering. The snow is gently falling like a sprinkle of sugar over the rooftops, catching the light from the gas lamps. You chuckle softly to yourself, imagining how much harder it would have been to navigate these streets with a layer of white beneath your feet. One slip, and you'd be flailing about like a modern-day influencer trying to capture the perfect candid shot. Before long, you discover a cozy little courtyard, filled with warmth radiating from a nearby tavern where cheerful patrons gather outside, huddled near fire pits that keep the chill at bay. Laughter bubbles forth as friends share stories over pints, and you can't help but be pulled into the welcoming atmosphere. There's music drifting lazily, the jumbled strumming of a guitar mixed with off-key singing punctuating the laughter. You feel like you've stumbled upon the best-kept secret of the night, It's as though you've entered a hidden world where time stands still and joy reigns. The air is rich with scents, smoky, sweet, and oh so inviting. Not a corner left untouched by charm. You find a spot against a warm brick wall, the glow of the fire casting flickering shadows on your face. A group of folks gathers nearby, playing some sort of game that looks suspiciously like a blend of charades and a magic act gone hilariously awry. One of the players, a young woman with wild curls and a joyous laugh, is trying to mimic holding a giant fish, which sends the crowd into fits of laughter. You can't help but chuckle along. It's one of those moments where everyone's joy intertwines, creating a warm community that feels safe and magical at once. Amidst the laughter, your gaze drifts toward a few gentlemen engaged in a jovial debate, waving their arms about in passionate discussion. You overhear snippets of their conversation, talking loudly about their preferred ales and the best pub experiences. One fellow insists, it's all about that honeyed brew they serve at the Rose and Crown. You simply haven't lived until you've tasted it. The others nod enthusiastically, their faces full of mirth and conviction. You chuckle at the animated antics, reflecting on how discussions about drinks and entertainment echo across societies, much like today's debates over which coffee shop brews the best cups. Historians still argue whether public houses were mere drinking dens or vibrant social hubs that breathe life into the urban tapestry. While those fellows debate tonight, you realize the very essence of human connection shines through, bound together by shared experiences, no matter the age. Feeling adventurous, you clamp your hand over your mouth to stifle a laugh, and you approach the lively bunch, injecting yourself into the conversation. If you want a brew that'll raise your spirits, you definitely have to try the curious concoctions at the Midnight Owl, you say with mischief, referencing a fictional pub you wish existed just for the fun of it. They serve ale brewed under the light of the full moon. It's ethereal. The group bursts into laughter, and you can almost see the Rolodex of pubs yet to discover spinning in their heads. Someone teases, "I want a pint of that magic moon brew. Where can I sign up?" You feel the warmth of camaraderie envelope you once more, the easy banter mixing with the crackle of the fire, and the sense of belonging is palpable. After a while of exchanging playful jabs and tall tales, one gentleman decides it's time to challenge everyone to share their most ridiculous brewing mishaps. Everyone chimes in. Stories of exploded kegs, ale that went bad, and the infamous green beer incident that had everyone's faces grimacing as they recount. The laughter surges, shaking off any remnants of the night's chill, and in the jovial atmosphere, it becomes clear that these stories and this camaraderie are worth their weight in gold. As the night stretches further, you catch yourself daydreaming about many nights like this, full of laughter, recounting tales, and sharing silly moments with strangers turned friends in a city that seems to breathe whimsy. It's utterly enchanting, and you soak it all in, your spirit buoyed by the joyous energy surrounding you. But just as you feel the enchantment enveloping you, a sudden gust of chilly wind whispers through the courtyard, sending shivers down your spine and rustling everyone's coats. The laughter subsides momentarily, and the fire flickers, as if considering whether to keep glowing or snuff out for the night. You must admit that a dash of warmth is needed, so you take a moment to exchange pleasantries with your newfound friends before opting to head inside the tavern for more coziness and warmth. As you cross the threshold into the warm interior, you're greeted by the delicious aroma of spiced cider bubbling away. Your senses awaken to the lingering sense of roasted meats, hearty stews, and warm bread. all of which feel like promises of comfort in the midst of the laughter and revelry. Glancing around, you see tables piled with both joyful diners and folks wrapped up in stories, the atmosphere reminiscent of an old-world feast where every heart finds a home. You wander to the bar, where the cheerful bartender welcomes you with a hearty smile. "What'll it be, mate?" he asks, wiping the counter as if it were the finest tablecloth, reflecting that old-school charm that you absolutely adore. It feels like you're indulging in a cozy ritual that connects you with those who came before, people who sipped their drinks and exchanged laughter over the very same wood. You order the spiced cider, intrigued by the way the bartender's eyes light up. Ah, an excellent choice. A secret family recipe. It warms the soul better than 1,000 blankets on a winter night. He grins, and amidst the happy bustle, you feel a sense of connection blooming, an irreplaceable thread of community weaving through laughter. You grab your drink and find a nook by the fireplace, letting the warmth envelop you as you sip the delicious blend of spices and sweetness. Closing your eyes for a moment, you pause to savor the comforting flavors that remind you of home, even if that home feels distant at times. The crackling fire lulls you gently, and you lean back, simply basking in the coziness of the moment, perhaps more generous in your dreams than you had expected when you first entered this bustling world. And just then, as if on cue, someone near the fireplace stands up to tell a story, an old custom you never realized you'd be privy to witness. The glow of the flames dances over their features as they weave a tale about a message in a bottle that ignited a citywide search for clues hidden beneath the cobblestones of London. The passion and flair with which they tell this epic adventure captivates everyone around, drawing the tavern into a delightful hush as imaginations run wild. You drink it all in, letting the warmth and laughter wrap around you like a gentle embrace. Tonight, you haven't just wandered the streets of London. You have truly discovered pockets of joy and adventure, threads of life that connect strangers and friends alike in a magical dance across history. Your heart swells with gratitude for this unexpected journey, each moment woven together, creating a cozy tapestry that you carry within. You realize that these threads aren't just sweet figments of moments. They form the essence of your own life too. A celebration of curiosity, laughter, and warmth shared over mundane chilly winds. With your drink warming your hands and a spark of adventure glowing in your heart, you reflect on how each interaction encourages you to embrace the unknown and find joy in the journey. You're not just surviving in this whimsical tapestry, you're building a life shimmering with awe, laughter, and tales yet to unfold. At that moment, you know that this enchanted evening in the heart of Victorian London is just the beginning. An invitation into a world of endless possibilities, where every turn of the corner holds a new story, a fun adventure, and the unmistakable magic of shared dreams and laughter. And so, with a smile playing on your lips, you lift your glass and toast to whatever comes next, ready to embrace it all with open arms. With your glass lifted high, you savor the warmth of the spiced cider as it flows through you like liquid comfort, a gentle reminder of the joy of stories yet untold. The echoes of laughter and friendly banter fill the tavern, weaving together a shared history, the kind that shines brightly even amidst the shadows of the past. You feel that delightful thrum of belonging, not as a mere observer, but as a cherished participant in this nightly tapestry that unfolds, rich with color and camaraderie. The storyteller's voice rises and falls, each inflection transporting everyone deeper into the enchanting adventure of the message in the bottle. You listen intently, your imagination alight with images of hidden treasures, suspenseful clues, and the camaraderie of an intrepid search that has captivated the hearts of those involved. The tavern feels like a cozy cocoon, wrapping you and your fellow patrons in warmth and intrigue, a safe haven where life is celebrated in all its quirks. As the tale unfolds, you can't resist leaning in a bit closer. The storyteller, animated and expressive, describes how the searchers trekked over bridges and through darkened alleyways, guided only by fragments of parchment scribbled in haste. It's a thrilling adventure, and you close your eyes for a moment, imagining being swept away in their journey, the echoing footsteps mingling with the sounds of the River Thames and the laughter of locals filling the air. Could there be secret passageways hidden underfoot? Each twist and turn in their search draws on the romantic allure of London, its layers of history, its untold secrets. Historians still debate whether the story of the bottle is a myth or an ingenious marketing ploy, the storyteller quips, and you suppress a laugh. It's a sentiment that resonates well with you. Debates that rage on in modern day about the authenticity of various tales, much like heated discussions among friends over whether a trendy restaurant truly lives up to the hype, or if it's just another fad. You chuckle softly to yourself, realizing that the love of storytelling connects you across ages, knitting together threads of curiosity in the fabric of life. As you sip your cider, you catch sight of a few patrons nearby eagerly sharing their own anecdotes, leaning into the lingering spirit of the night. One gentleman describes a time he ventured onto the river as a boy, spinning wild tales about how he and his friends caught a fish large enough to feed the whole village, though you can tell he's embellishing. After all, isn't that the beauty of storytelling? The atmosphere is electric with mirth. It feels as if everyone is dancing around a bonfire of shared experiences, their words crackling and sparking joy. You think about how stories resonate just like this in modern gatherings, people gathering to share laughter, silliness, and the absurdity of life. It feels comforting to know that this human connection transcends time, those carefree moments echoing amid laughter and banter. Instead of scrolling through screens, they engaged over mugs and meals, celebrating life's whims together. Eventually, the storyteller concludes the tale, and the tavern erupts into applause. And remember, they add with a twinkle in their eyes, you never know what adventures await when you simply embrace the unknown. Cheers resonate throughout the room, acknowledging the poignant reminder of the evening that unfolds before you. You feel a spark of inspiration igniting within you, an encouragement to seek out your own adventures, to weave your own stories, just like those shared earlier. Feeling buoyed by the energy in the air, you start to feel that familiar itch for spontaneity, for new experiences. You glance around the tavern and notice locals taking a moment to refill their glasses, others engrossed in delightful conversations, some even engaged in spirited games of dice at the corners. There's a sense of ease that envelops the room, a feeling as though every stranger has been granted a backstage pass to the quirky show called life, all participating in the delightful ebb and flow of connection. With the fire crackling softly nearby and your heart full, you decide to rise from your spot, excited to wander about a little more, eager to soak in the camaraderie. You venture toward a small group, huddled around a table, playing a spirited game of cards. The laughter spills out, and you approach with a friendly smile. Mind if I join? I promise I'm not lucky enough to cheat. They invite you in, and without hesitation, you all dive into the playful banter that ensues, laughter bubbling at every turn. You quickly find your rhythm, trading quips and teasing your new companions about card strategies that you may or may not be fabricating. The game stretches on longer than expected, but every moment is filled with joy. Every smile exchanged reminds you of laughter's warmth, a balm for the soul. Even when you fumble a card or two, the light-hearted responses ease any embarrassment, creating bonds that stand stronger with every round of folly. As the night deepens, your surroundings shift into a gentle intimacy. The tavern's atmosphere draws everyone closer together, igniting a fire of friendship fueled by shared stories and laughter. You feel a belonging here that transcends the confines of time, the pairing of kindred spirits weaving together narratives that could fill even the grandest of novels. Before long, you realize you've made friends of every sort. Lovers of tales, gamblers of smiles, and wondrous participants in the dance of life. Someone shares a funny tale about their recent misadventure in getting lost in the city. The wayward wander just adding to the brilliance of their story. You enjoy the delightful anecdotes so much that you begin contributing your own, sharing how you bumbled your way through today only to find magic in unexpected places. As the clock strikes an hour late, you catch sight of the bartender wiping down the counter and calling for last orders as the atmosphere settles into a gently winding evening lull. Having made delightful memories, you reflect on how every moment has been a gem, shining amidst the cobblestones of London. Each encounter thoughtful, each story rich. With newfound friendships formed and laughter lingering across the walls, you can't help but embrace the adventure of it all, feeling an exhilarating sense of gratitude that pulses deep within. The tapestry of the night, not just a reflection of the past, but an invitation toward the myriad of experiences waiting ahead. Gathering your things, you stroll back outside into the crisp night air, still filled with the echoes of laughter dancing on the wind. It feels like the enchanting hum of the city itself is whispering tales to you, weaving through the crannies of the alleyways as you take slow, savoring steps back down the cobbled streets toward your next adventure. You smile to yourself, knowing this magical evening is only a snapshot in the endless reel of stories waiting to unfold. With every footfall, you feel the spirit of London enveloping you, not as a distant, lonely traveler, but as a cherished participant in this waltz of life. Each step forward whispers a promise. Embracing the unknown is where the best tales often begin. And with that, your feet carry you through the vibrant streets, the heart of the city thumping in tune with your own, where laughter, adventure, and tales yet to be told gracefully invite you to dive deeper into this mesmerizing history. You can't wait to discover what is next, for today has been just the beginning, not just in the vivid echoes of Victorian London, but within your own journey unfolding like a beautifully chaotic story, waiting to be written with all the colors of life. As you meander down the cobbled streets, your footsteps feel lighter with every step, buoyed by the warmth of laughter and camaraderie you've experienced throughout the evening. The streets of Victorian London are magically transformed in the glow of the gas lamps, their flickering brightness illuminating graffiti-like impressions upon the brick wall, telling tales of countless souls who walked these same paths long before you. It's as if the city itself breathes, inviting you to explore its myriad stories, gently coaxing you to find your own place within its historic embrace. You can't help but smile, glancing up at the shimmering stars sprinkled across the night sky. While they might not shine as brightly as the memories you've just formed, they evoke a sense of wonder, reminding you of the age-old curiosity that binds humanity together. Each star a marker for dreams and adventures awaiting discovery. You take a deep breath, feeling invigorated, exhilarated, and slightly giddy, as if you've just stepped off a thrilling roller coaster ride. As you wander deeper, a soft rustling beneath an old oak tree catches your eye. The branches sway as if whispering secrets to one another in the night breeze. Drawn closer, you spot a small group of people gathered beneath, their voices spirited and lively. Your curiosity piques. What could they be up to? You approach to find an informal gathering of young poets engaged in a spirited discussion about their craft, the air filled with both earnestness and mirth. "You won't believe how I messed up my last reading," one young poet exclaims, causing fits of laughter to ripple through the group. "I tripped over my own words, much like I tripped over my own feet." You can't help but chuckle, the simple joy of shared experience weaving through the night. You step closer, feeling a comfort in the camaraderie, and the group welcomes you with open arms, their energy playful and inviting. "Care to share a tale, friend?" one of them asks, eyes glimmering with a mix of mischief and genuine curiosity. Feeling emboldened, you nod and offer to share a poetic verse of your creation, drawing on the threads of spontaneity that have woven through your evening. The group lends their full attention as you recite your lines. Words about the charm of wandering, of finding unexpected friendships in the heart of a vibrant city like this, imbued with magic. And as you finish, you feel a wave of warmth wash over you, the connection blossoming amongst newfound friends through the power of storytelling. Bravo! The cheers erupt, loud and celebratory, like the cheers of the tavern crowd from earlier. "You have the soul of a true bard," another poet insists, urging others to share their work as well. The atmosphere is intoxicating, filled with the intoxicating blend of laughter and creative energy. You dive into a few more poetic verses, and soon the air is alive with rhythm and rhyme as poets take turns sharing their musings, some heartfelt, others whimsically absurd, patterned like the starlit sky above. There's a delightful shared thrill in what unfolds, and you find joy not only in sharing your own creations, but also in hearing the artistic expressions of others. Each burst of creativity lending more life to the energy of this gathering beneath the oak tree. A fellow poet recites a twisted sonnet about the trials of love lost, while another shares a cheeky limerick that sends the group into wails of laughter, even in the moments where the lines go awry, where words stumble and flow out like flustered street vendors. The persistent encouragement feels like a warm embrace, urging vulnerability and adventure. In the light of the oak tree's gentle sway, creativity is celebrated, laughter is cherished, and you feel an electric sense of freedom to explore the realms of imagination, united with fellow dreamers. As the minutes tick by, you realize the importance of what this gathering represents. It's not just fleeting fun, but a rhythm of community brimming with inspiration and connection. You witness how sharing poetry and laughter mirrors those cozy gatherings in modern life, where friends come together to reminisce over errant moments, creating bonds stronger than the passing of time. It reminds you how, despite the fast pace of life nowadays, essence remains vital. The unshakable need to connect, celebrate and create, even under the stars in an ancient city. Eventually, as minds unwind into comfortable conversations, an idea begins to swirl around the group, an informal poetry contest. How about we each come up with a prompt and see who can conjure the best poem by the end of the night? A spirited young man proposes. Excitement ripples through the crowd, and soon the prompts begin flying. A lost treasure, the heart of London, and wondrously, ghosts of the past, all floated about like a playful wind. As ideas bounce around, you ponder the possibilities. You feel the fire of creativity flickering within you, planting a spark to inspire your imagination. You take a moment to consider your own prompt, the thoughts swirling charmingly in your mind, perhaps weaving in aspects of the city, amidst the laughter and love that strings through the evening, like a beautiful filigree draped gracefully over the significant tapestry of your experiences thus far. All right, everyone, we have 5 minutes. Let your imaginations run wild, the young poetic bard declares, and you dive into your thoughts. You hastily weave together words, assembling lines that flow like the river winding through the heart of London, capturing the spirit of the evening in stanzas filled with laughter, warmth, and a sprinkle of the unexpected. When the time is called, everyone present gathers to share their creations, the vibrant tones of poetry carrying the stories of laughter spilled across the night. You listen as each poem unfolds, a cascade of creativity igniting the small circle of poets. Across the streets of cobblestones we tread, amongst the laughter and the words said. In this patch of night, friendships arise against the backdrop of twinkling skies. When it's your turn, you strain slightly, with genuine humility and joy. You recite your poem, feeling the warmth of connection envelop you anew. The group resonates with your verses, many nodding in apparent delight, the camaraderie full and flowing. When the contest wraps up, the reveal of the winner seems less important than the unity that's formed. Everyone celebrates the creative spark of the night. Thoughts exchange freely as they discuss inspiration woven from shared experiences. And it's clear that every voice contributes flavor to this artistic feast. The night swells with future possibilities, new friendships formed, highlighting the charm of a gathering that will linger like soft echoes into tomorrow. Then suddenly, among the laughter and applause, a whimsical wind carries through the courtyard, causing the branches of the oak to sway wildly, as if gently nudging everyone to keep the spirit alive. One poet declares, "Let's keep this night alive in memory and word. How about another toast to our creativity and fun?" With glasses raised high, echoes of the evening reverberate as the spirit of the gathering builds, restoring warmth despite the cooler night air. To stories shared and friendships formed, Lekki Ticho, you proclaim with delight, the word merrily floating into the night. After the celebratory toast, as the conversations wind down and the crowd begins to disperse, you exchange contact details with a couple of the poets, anchoring trust and connection as you navigate the vibrant world ahead. Before you know it, you've jotted down ideas for future meetups, a continued celebration of creativity, the spirit of adventure stretching onwards. As you prepare to depart, the group gathers together for a final round of thankful hugs and warm goodbyes before you all drift into the heart of London, each person heading to their respective corners of the night. You feel a profound sense of contentment envelop you, knowing you've carved out a meaningful moment under the twinkling stars, where joy and creativity swirl together in a dance of humanity. Stepping back into the streets, you'll feel eternally grateful for the invitation to connect, to share laughter, and to weave stories that feed the heart. As you stroll onward, every step echoes with the night's magic, brushing past shadows of the past that hurriedly slide back into the distance, replaced by the promise of bright tomorrows, filled with new hilarities and unexpected adventures. Tonight has etched itself into your heart, a brilliant snapshot that reverberates like the city's pulse, reminding you to seek out those moments wherever they may lie. With each footfall, you realize this adventure is just one of many. The world is a canvas, and you, a storyteller, weaving connections deep into the fabric of humanity. So ready for more escapades, you wink at the constellations above, nurturing that assertive flame of creativity within, while knowing you'll hold on to the memories made tonight, your heart thrumming in delightful anticipation of what awaits just beyond the horizon. As you meander through the winding streets of Victorian London, an unmistakable thrill courses through you, blending with the crisp night air, with the laughter of poets still echoing in your ears and the warmth of cider lingering on your tongue. You can't help but feel as if you're walking through a living storybook, every corner turned revealing another delightful chapter. The gas lamps cast soft halos of light around you, illuminating the path and inviting you further into the heart of this enchanting city. You stroll down a narrow side street and marvel at the elegant architecture that tells tales of days gone by. Mysterious doorways stand as silent witnesses to the whispers of time. Occasionally, you catch glimpses of people inside, their silhouettes alive with conversations, laughter spilling into the quiet night like a promise of warmth and kindness. It's exhilarating, imagining all the lives that intersect in this golden age, so different yet so connected through shared moments and stories. As you continue, your mind drifts back to the delightful poets who gathered earlier under the oak tree. It dawns on you that their sense of camaraderie encapsulated a beautiful truth, that creativity thrives in the company of others, and laughter often binds people closer than any eloquent word ever could. That feeling resonates deep within you. You know you'll carry these moments, these new friendships, and the shared love for storytelling long after this night has faded into memory. Approaching a lively square, the sound of music wafts toward you, drawing you in like a moth to a flame. Curious, you find a small crowd gathered around performers, musicians strumming guitars and fiddles, their tunes weaving in and out of the night air, an invitation for those passing by to join in the revelry. You pause for a moment, letting the rhythm wash over you before stepping closer. Drawn into the warmth of their melodies, people are dancing, their movements lively and carefree, laughter threading through the air, and you can't help but smile at the way music has the power to unite, how it can pull even the shyest souls onto the dance floor, filling the space with joy. You can already envision a viral TikTok moment capturing this kind of magic, a spontaneous dance party breaking out in the heart of a bustling city. Feeling inspired, you decide to jump into the fun. You move toward the edge of the crowd and after a moment's hesitation, allow the rhythm to take over. A joyful spirit of abandon envelops you as you sway and twirl, your heart light and free. It's not about perfection. It's about the thrill of being alive, of simply enjoying the moment. You laugh as a fellow dancer spins you around, both of you swept up in the collective energy that fills the night. The joy is infectious. And soon you gravitate toward a couple laughing uproariously as they attempt a rather ambitious dance move, their clumsy attempts drawing forth cheers and giggles from the crowd. "You call that a waltz?" One teasing voice rings out, fueling the spirited atmosphere. "More like a waltz to the doctor's office." Laughter blends seamlessly into the music, resonating with your own heart as you weave through the crowd, encouraging others to join in the merriment. This feeling, you realize, this is the essence of connection. Shared experiences that create threads binding you to those around you, regardless of the time or place. As the night wears on, you find yourself caught up in the musical revelry, heartened by the diversity of faces around you, each person a vibrant stroke on the canvas of this lively city tableau. The blend of laughter, music, and animated chatter creates a warm cocoon of community, reminiscent of those intimate evenings with friends where stories flow endlessly. and smiles are as abundant as stars in the sky. After a final round of exuberant dancing, you settle into the warmth of the moment, catching your breath while sipping from a cup filled with mulled wine shared by a friendly stranger. The gentle unfolding of conversation's secrets intertwines with the melodies filling the air, creating a pleasant buzz that wraps around everyone like a gentle embrace. "Isn't it amazing?" one dancer near you comments, eyes sparkling with excitement. "This city is alive with stories just waiting to be uncovered." You nod in agreement, remembering the tales spun throughout the evening, from the poets to the street performers, all contributing to the rich tapestry that is London, where magic lingers in the unlikeliest of places. It occurs to you that this gathering, this celebration of life, extends beyond the night. It's about the connectivity of human experience. With every person entering your orbit, every story shared, you weave a larger narrative of your own, adding depth, color, and wonder to your life's journey. As the music slows and darkness deepens, the crowd begins to ebb and flow like the tide. You glance around and take a moment to soak in the joy rippling through the air. It's truly enchanting. It reminds you of snuggling up with a loved one on a lazy Sunday, content with nothing more than laughter and chatter to fill the silence. The heart knows no barriers when stories are shared, and suddenly, everything feels right in the world. Feeling the urge to continue this spirit of connection, you strike up a conversation with a nearby dancer who had caught your eye. A gentleman with a broad smile and an infectious sense of enthusiasm. "What brings you to this lovely corner of London?" you ask, genuinely curious. He brightens at the opportunity to share, recounting tales of his travels, his dreams of connecting souls through art and expression. His passion is infectious, and you share your own adventures. The heartfelt poetry reading, the spirited gathering, and that unexpected twist when you decided to join in the dance. Each moment blossoming before your eyes into stories worth telling. It feels good to recount these experiences and reflect upon how they've transformed a simple evening into something extraordinary. The chat flows seamlessly, laughter punctuating pauses, and you discover shared values, those little nuances of personality that make every conversation feel like a delightful dance of its own. Before you know it, you're lost in conversation, as if you've known each other for years. Two souls entwining through the timeline of a night that feels like a treasure trove of discovery. You keep in touch with your newfound friend, promising to meet again. You feel an undeniable spark of connection that translates into excitement for future plans. Perhaps meeting for coffee or sharing quarterly poetry readings, more adventures waiting to unfold. As the crowd begins to thin out even further, you feel a pang of bittersweet nostalgia wash over you. While you embrace the goodwill of the night, you realize that every encounter holds echoes that will linger on. Threads weaving through the larger tapestry of life, emphasizing the beauty of existence. The warmth of friendships forged, the laughter shared, and the stories spun beneath the stars all act as bright reflections of what it means to be alive. Finally, with your heart full and your spirit ignited, you venture back onto the cobblestone path, the echo of laughter and music dancing away with the flickering gas lamps. It feels as if the night is blessing you with a gentle embrace, a whispered promise that all these stories will continue, urging you to seek out others who might add chapters to this shared journey. With each step, you find that joy rests in the pursuit of connection and creativity. Wherever you may roam, you'll carry that spirit with you, as brightly as the glow of the stars overhead. The city stretches out before you, filled with promise, where countless encounters await. each one a thread weaving your unique story into the rich tapestry of life itself. And tonight, as you traverse the shadowed streets, you cherish the thought that every corner turned and every face met adds to the tale unfolding. A whimsical adventure waiting to be lived, shared, and cherished in the grand epic that is your life. So with newfound warmth and a skip in your step, you welcome the adventures that lie ahead, ready to craft your stories daringly and beautifully, inspired by a city that has opened its arms wide to embrace you, not as a visitor, but as a cherished participant in the ever-unfolding dance of life. It's a story that is only just beginning, teeming with prospects as rich and colourful as the night itself. With your heart buoyed by the magic of the evening, you continue your stroll through the cobbled streets of London, each step resonating with joy and anticipation. The remnants of laughter and music play softly in your mind, a delightful symphony echoing through the warm cocoon of your memories. Each flickering gas lamp you pass illuminates the world in shades of gold and amber, creating a dreamy tapestry that feels both timeless and alive. As you walk, the crisp air tinged with hints of roasting chestnuts and warm bread fills your lungs, reminding you that you're in a city where life blends artfully with history. The rhythm of your footsteps intertwines with the pulse of the night, feeling as if you're becoming part of the very fabric of this place, a living thread in its ever-evolving narrative. Passing by a quaint shop window, you catch a glimpse of beautiful porcelain dishes and intricate charms on display. The colors are vibrant and inviting, whispering tales of the artisans who crafted them with care. You linger for a moment, entranced by the artistry, how a simple piece can evoke stories of joy, family gatherings, and treasured moments shared over meals. Your thoughts cascade through your mind like tumbling leaves, pondering the experiences and reflections that scent the air, and you're deeply reminded of how moments, no matter how small, can shape the great narrative. Each trinket in that shop strikes you as a reminder that treasures are not merely found in grand gestures, but also in the simple, heartfelt gatherings shared among friends. Suddenly, a pop-up market catches your eye. Lively stalls adorned with twinkling fairy lights and colourful banners dance playfully in the soft light of dusk. As the scent of freshly baked goods wafts through the air, it pulls you closer, like that warm, inviting hug that you can never resist. You feel an irresistible combination of excitement and curiosity washing over you, urging you to see what treasures await inside this bustling bazaar. You weave through the crowd, allowing the energy to envelop you. The vendors, full of life and enthusiasm, beckon to passers-by, offering samples of everything from fragrant spices to delicious pastries. You stroll past a stall brimming with fresh pastries that tempt you with their golden flaky crusts, each one a delightful morsel promising its own experience. Try a slice, love, a lively vendor calls out to you, and you can't help but smile at their infectious cheerfulness. Why not? You muse to yourself, reaching for a warm custard tart, adorned with a sprinkle of nutmeg. As you take a bite, the creamy filling melts in your mouth, and you're immediately transported to a cozy kitchen, feeling the warmth of homemade treats made with love. It's heavenly. You find yourself swaying a little, savoring every beautifully crafted flavor. Nearby, a spirited artist displays bold, colorful paintings that call out to your visual senses, the strokes messy and free, each canvas telling a story all its own. You wonder if perhaps you'll discover a piece that resonates with the heart, something to carry home as a reminder of this whimsical adventure. That allure is just as intoxicating as the idea of diving into a new project or expressing the words you felt earlier in your poetry. You strike up a conversation with the artist, sharing your thoughts about their vibrant pieces. Each brushstroke is like a heartbeat, they explain, eyes gleaming with passion. It's about painting life as it is, beautiful, chaotic, and ever-changing. You nod along, appreciating the insight. The words resonate with you, mirroring the essence of what you felt tonight. How every moment is shaped by the laughter, chaos, and beauty of the connections formed in this city. With newfound inspirations lingering in your heart, you decide to purchase a small painting. A vivid burst of colors reminiscent of the joy you've experienced throughout your evening. It feels like holding onto a piece of the magic that unfolded, a tangible reminder that art and life are intertwined. As you continue to wander through the market, you stumble upon an eccentric vendor selling handmade trinkets. The small stalls brim with curiosities, quirky gadgets, and whimsical art pieces ranging from eccentric jewelry to intricate wooden puzzles. You pause to watch a young child gleefully uncovering hidden gems from a small treasure chest. Their eyes alight with that same wonder you felt earlier in the night. That spark of curiosity is contagious, a sweet little reminder that adventure isn't only about grandeur. Sometimes it lies in the thrill of exploration, in delightfully unraveling the unexpected. You pick up an ornate locket crafted from delicate silver, its intricate designs weaving stories you can only imagine. "Ah, a beautiful choice," the vendor exclaims, a twinkle in their eye. Every locket tells a tale. Whoever wears it carries a piece of love with them. You can't help but smile. You know that sentiment rings true. You've felt that connection through shared stories, moments crafted with care, and the ties of friendship formed along the way. As you purchase the locket, you wear it around your neck, feeling a spark of magic course through you. It's as if you are donning a talisman of remembrance for the adventures still yet to unfold in your life, reminding you always to seek the stories woven into everyday encounters. The evening begins to transition toward the midnight hour, and you feel a sense of contentment wash over you. The market's energy programming another enchanting chapter in your own tale. Your heart swells with gratitude. Tonight has unfolded like a vibrant tapestry, each interaction and experience adding depth and texture to your own story. As you take one last stroll around the market, admiring the talented artisans, the laughter of distant revelers, and the gentle sway of lanterns above, you absorb it all, knowing that every sparkle and every joyous note is part of something much bigger. The night is a celebration of life and creativity, where dreams intertwine with the mundane. A reminder that there's beauty in embracing the unexpected. Feeling the gentle tug of the continuation of your journey, you start to make your way back toward the main road, each step echoing your earlier resolutions to delve deeper into art, creativity, and connection. You realize that tonight isn't just an isolated incident. It has sparked a determination to seek these experiences, to capture them in poetry, in smiles, in moments that shine. As you walk under the starlit sky, you reflect on how the stories you've encountered tonight will resonate in your heart, inspiring you to continue creating your narrative. With every flicker of the gas lamps and every laugh shared, you can feel the pulse of life around you, reminding you that in this vast, interconnected world, the tales you share and the connections you form create magic that lasts long after the night has passed. And as you step back into the rhythm of your own path, you embrace the thrill of all the journeys yet to come, eager to uncover the next chapter, knowing that every evening holds the potential for wonder, with curiosity as your compass and creativity as your guide. You prepare yourself to dive deep into the next adventure, excitedly awaiting the stories yet to be shared. Tonight was just a beautiful beginning, a heartwarming exposition to a life filled with endless narratives waiting to bloom in the rich tapestry of your existence. So with the night still young and possibilities abundant, you set forth into the dusky streets of Victorian London, ready to write the next delightful chapter of your adventure, ever passionate for every beautiful, unexpected moment that awaits along the way. As you stroll through the shimmering streets of Victorian London, the evening air hums with possibility, and the gentle glow of the gas lamps creates a soft halo of light around you. With the locket resting snug against your chest, it feels as though you're carrying not only a piece of art, but also a talisman, a reminder of the stories you've shared and the friendships you've begun to weave into your life. Every corner you turn seems to welcome you with open arms, ready to reveal concealed wonders, like an old friend who knows all your secrets. The echoes of laughter and music still dance in your mind, having etched vivid memories into your heart. You think about the gathering at the market and the warmth of the shared experiences, the poetry, the dancing, and the spontaneous conversations. Tonight feels like a beautifully penned chapter in an ongoing narrative, and you're eager to keep writing, to keep exploring. Your feet find their rhythm along the cobblestones, and as you navigate through the serpentine streets, a delightful sense of curiosity fills you. What awaits just around the next corner? You can't help but imagine all the stories hiding in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. Perhaps, you think whimsically, you might stumble upon an eccentric inventor tinkering with a fantastical machine, or an artist who captures the essence of the city in vibrant murals. Suddenly, you catch sight of something peculiar peeking out between the folds of a vendor's cart. A makeshift sign announces late-night curiosities. Your heart quickens in anticipation. You step closer, intrigued by the hodgepodge of oddities displayed, each item seeming to whisper mysteries and far-off tales. You approach the stall, where a quaint elderly woman stands proudly amid the delightful chaos, her silver hair catching the light like the twinkling stars above. "Welcome, dearie. Come on in. Take a look. I promise you won't find anything quite like this anywhere else," she says with a grin, her eyes twinkling with a knowing warmth. You step into her little world, drawn by the eclectic mix of trinkets and treasures. Colourful glass marbles that glimmer like tiny worlds, brass keys that appear to unlock the secrets of time, and curious gadgets that seem to possess magic all their own. Each piece feels alive with potential stories waiting to be unraveled, and you eagerly run your fingers over them, letting your imagination take flight. "Ah, you're drawn to the unusual, I can see," the vendor remarks, her voice full of delight. "Each of these bits and bobs has a history, like that antique magnifying glass. It belonged to an old detective who never quite solved his greatest mystery." You chuckle at the thought, imagining the detective hunched over day after day, searching for clues that always seem to elude him. It's a whimsical notion that captures your imagination. Perhaps the true mystery lies not in the answers he sought, but in the adventures of the quest itself. You ask her about other items, and she tells tales for each one, her voice a soothing melody. You learn about a small carousel figurine carved from wood, once adored by a child who dreamt of far-off lands, and a peculiar compass that can't seem to decide which direction to point. Once a gift from a sailor, she notes, to keep him grounded while chasing the horizon. You can feel the layers of history seeping into your bones, making ordinary items come alive with colors, boundless adventures, and the vibrancy of human experience. You can't help but wonder if this is the very heart of what TikTok influencers strive to capture. Those little snippets that manage to evoke feelings of nostalgia, joy, and connection. But here, standing before the elderly woman, experiencing these stories firsthand, you realize there's something infinitely more rich and rewarding in seeking out the essence of life's curiosities. After much deliberation, you decide on a beautifully intricate brass key, its ornate design dancing in your hand, like the gleam of a far-off memory. What does this unlock? You ask, your heart brimming with excitement. The vendor's eyes sparkle knowingly. Ah, my dear, that key unlocks the doorway to your imagination. What it opens is entirely up to you. You chuckle, enchanted by the notion. Grasping the key tightly in your hand, you feel it pulse with potential, a symbol of the adventures still lying ahead, a reminder to embrace the unknown with open arms. As you thank the vendor and step back into the night, the streets ahead beckon you, illuminated by the soft glow of the lanterns that seem to whisper welcoming words. With each step, you can feel the vibrations of life around you, stories weaving together like the leaves swirling in the gentle breeze, a tapestry of voices united by shared experiences and dreams. Continuing your journey, you keep the brass key close, mentally crafting a narrative around it. How tiny acts of bravery lead to unlocking new doors, metaphorical ones that guide you toward new experiences, friendships, and revelations. The world stretches out before you, an uncharted map filled with promises and mysteries awaiting your discovery. You turn a corner, drawn by the sounds of music spilling through an open window, and your curiosity peaks again. The soft strumming of a guitar caresses your ears, and you find a small gathering inside a rustic tavern where folk sit around laughing and enjoying the melodies. The inviting atmosphere pulls you in like a warm embrace. You step inside, feeling immediately at ease. The smell of hearty stew wafts through the air, comfort food filling every nook and cranny. The few tables are bustling with lively conversation, and in a cozy corner, a small band plays folk tunes that seem to echo the heartbeat of the crowd around them. You notice a table scattered with scattered parchment and quills, where some patrons are composing songs of their own, and a local artist quickly sketches the scene unfolding before him. You feel drawn to the energy in the room. Every laugh, every shared glance fills you with warmth as they create a shared history that shifts and sways like the melodies played at the front. As the musicians call for audience participation, you can't resist the urge to rise to your feet, especially when a jovial voice invites, "Who among you wants to share a song or a story?" In that moment, the room feels like a stage, and you are drawn into the spirit of the night. With excitement bubbling in your chest, you step forward, the warmth of the room emboldening you. As you share your verses about the adventures that have shaped your evening, you find a welcoming audience, eagerly joining in for a chorus, blending your voices together in a tapestry of sound, weaving experiences that are richer together than alone. The melodies rise and fall like the tide of the Thames outside, swirling joyfully as your hearts synchronize into something beautiful. Patrons join, contributing their own stories and songs, the love for creativity filling every inch of the room with vibrant energy. As the night unfolds, and you immerse yourself in the music, you realize that every encounter tonight threads back to that very essence of connection you felt earlier with fellow poets. It's all intertwined, this ongoing dance between life, laughter, creativity, and friendship, where every shared moment becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your experiences. Eventually, the music starts to slow down, transitioning from lively songs to soft ballads that invite reflection. You feel as if you're entering a gentle lull, each note a tender embrace, a reminder that within this vibrant city, there exists an unspoken bond, a tapestry held together by the fabric of stories shared. As the evening wears on, you notice the small group slowly beginning to disperse, voices receding into the night, but the warmth of camaraderie lingers. You stay a moment longer, soaking in the melodies and laughter, cherishing the connections forged through shared storytelling. With every encounter you've had tonight, you feel a little more alive, a little more invigorated, and just as you prepare to step back outside into the cool night air, the sense of adventure glimmers in your heart, assuring you that this journey is just the beginning. As you bid farewell to the merry band of musicians, you inch closer to the door, feeling a pull in your heart for the stories yet untold. You step back onto the cobblestone path, the intoxicating energy of the night still swirling around you, wrapping you in an embrace of possibilities. With the sky above twinkling like a brocade of jewels, you keep walking, and you feel firmly rooted in the magic of the moment, ready to embrace whatever delightful oddity awaits you just beyond the horizon. Whether it's another whimsical encounter, a new song unfolding, or a story waiting to be shared, you venture forth into the night with confidence and excitement, eager to unravel the next layer of this enchanting adventure that life has gifted you. You carry the key, the locket, and all the memories made tonight as you walk through the shadows and lights, knowing each step holds the promise of connection and creativity, waiting to blossom into something beautifully transformative. With the twinkling lights of the tavern fading into the distance, you step back onto the cobblestone street, the night air wrapping around you like a comforting blanket. The vibrant energy of the evening still surges through your veins, mingling with the cool night breeze as if the city itself was alive, breathing in sync with your own anticipation. As you continue your leisurely stroll, you reflect on the extravagant tapestry of experiences you've woven together tonight. Each interaction a thread in the fabric of your life, binding deeper connections and igniting creativity with every laugh shared. The glowing key rests against your chest, reminding you that adventure lies just ahead, tantalizingly close, waiting for your eager heart to heed its call. The streets shift as you detour down a narrow alleyway, drawn by the distant sound of clinking glasses and raucous laughter. It's a friendly sound, and your curiosity leads you in, perhaps to another hidden gem of joy waiting around a cozy corner. A small sign above a crooked door reads, "The Whispering Pub," almost inviting you in with the promise of more stories shared over hearty drinks and hearty company. Pushing open the heavy wooden door, you're greeted by a cozy interior. A low ceiling decorated with mismatched lanterns that cast a warm, flickering light. The atmosphere buzzes with life, voices blending together in a harmonious melody of cheerful chatter. The crackle of laughter weaving through the air like a pleasant spell. You find a little nook near the bar, and as you settle in, you scan the room, taking in the eclectic mix of patrons, some deeply engrossed in conversations, while others gather around to participate in a spirited game of cards in the corner. A group bursts into laughter, their joviality punctuating the air with an infectious energy that makes you want to smile widely, embracing this delightful world around you. The bartender appears, a jolly fellow with a well-worn apron and a twinkle in his eye. "What'll it be, my friend?" he asks, leaning in with genuine interest. You opt for the house special, a saffron-infused ale that's said to warm the heart and spark joy. A perfect choice for an exhilarating evening like this. With your drink in hand, you take a moment to soak in the ambience, you can't help but notice the walls adorned with local artwork. Paintings of the very streets you've wandered, each piece telling its own tale. The colors are vibrant, evoking the essence of the city. The brushstrokes appear to dance on the canvas, reminiscent of the laughter and vibrancy everywhere around you. You find yourself chatting with a couple of nearby patrons, a spirited woman with a bright smile and a gentleman clad in a checkered vest who seems full of stories. "You've just missed the most remarkable magician," he exclaims, eyes lighting up with excitement. "He conjured birds out of thin air and made the candles dance. Quite the spectacle, I tell you." As they regale tales of magical wonders performed earlier, your heart fills with delight. "What other wonders are there to behold tonight?" you inquire, feeling buoyed by the sense of wonder that fills the room. With a gleam in her eye, the lady responds, "You'd be surprised. This place loves to share its secrets. There's a corner booth in the back where patrons often share dreams, stories, and their wildest inspirations." She gestures animatedly, drawing you further into their world. Fueled by curiosity, you ask them if they'd like to join you in that booth, an eager expedition into the night's unfolding adventures. They agree readily, and together you navigate through the warm crowd, pushing past wooden tables brimming with ale and laughter, until you arrive at the intimate corner booth tucked away from the bustle. Settling in, the atmosphere around you transforms into a cocoon of camaraderie, where whispered dreams and shared tales can flow freely. You glance at the array of drinks on the table. Everyone seems eager to open their hearts and reflect on their collective experiences, creating an intimate tapestry of the moment. With embellishment and animated gestures, the gentleman shares stories from far-off lands, each tale rich with heroic exploits and humorous encounters. He speaks of lost treasures, long-forgotten love letters found in dusty libraries, and the enticing mystery of hidden maps promising endless adventure. You can practically envision him as a character from one of the novels gracing the shelves of the very shop you passed earlier. The lady takes her turn, detailing her passion for art and how it ignites the heart. "There's magic in painting, as if I'm capturing moments and sealing them in time. Each stroke tells a story of its own," she enthuses, her hands weaving through the air as if she's painting the very conversation unfolding around you. Her passion glows like a bright flame, illuminating the space even more. You share your own journey, how tonight led you to beautiful moments of connection, the poets, the music, the market, each experience inspiring creativity. The three of you bask in the brilliance of what life has to offer, stories unfolding in spontaneous chapters, woven together with laughter and delight. As the conversation grows deeper and laughter merges with softer reflections, you find yourself longing to uncover the mysteries of the dream-sharing tradition hinted at earlier. It's clear this place holds stories of its own, and you can feel the excited tension building as your inquiries draw out even more intricate tales from your newfound friends. "Why don't we share our wildest dreams?" the gentleman proposes, grinning widely. "Let's ignite the imaginations of those around us." The idea resonates. There's something magical about vulnerability, an unspoken understanding that such sharing could lead to catharsis or inspiration in ways you never expected. As you go around the table, sharing your dreams, your aspirations for poetry, travel, and creating stories that linger long after the telling, you lose yourself in the warmth of their encouraging laughter. Each dream heard echoes like a whisper of hope, binding you to this moment and to one another as fellow wanderers in this grand tapestry of life. Dreams of adventure, artistry, and exploration begin to mingle. creating an atmosphere of boundless hope. You share thoughts about creating a collection of poems inspired by your wanderings, weaving in tales and encounters from people you meet along the way. It feels monumental, filled with promise. As the night glides smoothly toward its conclusion, you find that every moment, each shared laugh, every cherished dream, is a strand weaving you closer together, stitching a deeper bond amidst the vibrancy and whimsy of the night. You catch a glimpse of the future unraveling before you, promising more shared moments and endeavors, perhaps even collaborative tales spun from these new connections. As the last remnants of the evening's joyous energy linger like a sweet, soothing melody, you rise with your new friends, ready to step back into the world. With a playful salute and fond goodbyes, you bid farewell, heartened by the richness of the night. Stepping outside, the cool air feels refreshing against your skin, a gentle reminder of the vast possibilities that await. The streets, now dimly lit and softly echoing, invite you to wander onward into the infinite tapestry of stories just waiting to be revealed. You smile, grateful for the adventures that have taken place tonight, and even more excited for what lies ahead. As you walk, your heart feels fuller than ever, with memories of laughter and dreams swirling around you, like the soft embrace of the night. The key still hangs close, a beautiful reminder of the magic you've encountered, urging you to seek out the next adventure with an open heart and an adventurous spirit. You pause for a moment to breathe it all in, taking stock of the city before you, London, with all its histories, secrets, and wonders. A living, breathing entity where adventures await just around every turn, and with your heart brimming with gratitude for this whimsical journey and the connections forged along the way, you venture forth, ready to embrace the enchantment of life that teems around you in every shadow and every shaft of light. This is not just the end of a delightful evening. It's the ongoing story of your life, filled with laughter, adventure, discoveries, and shared dreams. You are a part of this vibrant tapestry, and so, with an open heart and curious spirit, you step confidently into the night, ready to write the next chapter of your own unfolding story. The best is yet to come. The city is alive beneath your feet as you continue your walk, the cobbled streets humming with the faint echoes of music and laughter from the taverns you've left behind. Each step resonates with the excitement of possibility, and you can feel the energy of the night swirling around you, inviting you to delve deeper into this cherished adventure. With the key tucked warmly against your heart and the brass locket swinging gently with each stride, you find yourself drawn toward the London Eye in the distance, its silhouette standing regal against the star-studded sky. The vibrant lights of the Ferris wheel twinkle like a constellation manifesting in the very fabric of the city, beckoning you to experience its height and the sweeping views of the sprawling urban landscape. As you draw closer, you can see families, couples, and friends gathered beneath the iconic structure, their laughter ringing out like beautiful notes filling the air. The energy pulses with vibrancy, an electric sense of joy that mirrors the ambience of the evening. You feel an irresistible urge to join them, to witness the city from a different vantage point, where stories intertwine and the heartbeat of London thrums below. Once you arrive at the entrance, you step into the line and let the anticipation wash over you. You can't help but smile at the group of children who chatter excitedly around you, their wide eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "I want to see everything," one of them exclaims, bouncing up and down on their toes. And you can't help but be filled with childlike wonder too, remembering that this adventure is as much about exploration as it is about connection. Before long, you board one of the glass pods, feeling the excitement swell within you as it begins to ascend. The gentle hum of the machinery surrounds you, intermingling with laughter and friendly chatter, creating a lively ambience that feels warm and exhilarating. As the pod rises higher, you glance out at the majestic view unfolding before you. The Thames snakes through the heart of the city, shimmering under the moonlight, and the buildings glow like jewels within the night's embrace. You marvel at how vast London is, the infinite expanse of stories and lives intertwined within its boundaries. It's almost dizzying, the swirl of it all. Every light below representing a life lived, a story waiting to be told. You find yourself captivated by the story that surrounds you, each iconic landmark below, whispering its own narrative steeped in history. There's the Tower of London, the Grand Bridge, and glimpses of the Royal Palace like notes from a historical symphony. This city truly feels alive, pulsating with energy and the echoes of its rich past, while simultaneously welcoming the dreams and aspirations of its present. As the pod reaches its peak, you step to the window and soak in the breathtaking panorama. The moon hangs low in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the scene, illuminating the tapestry woven over centuries. You breathe deeply, feeling a shift in perspective. This moment encapsulates the adventure you've been part of tonight and the journey that still lies ahead. You reflect on the connections you made in the tavern that evening with fellow dreamers, knowing that those moments are merely the seeds of what is to come. There's a vibrant beauty in shared exploration, an electricity that pulses through those serendipitous moments where paths cross. You can almost see the possibilities stretching out like a web before you, the myriad ways in which extraordinary adventures can unfold just beyond the horizon. As the ride slowly descends, you watch the lights flicker beneath you, and you imagine the lives playing out in each window. Stories that ripple through this expansive city like waves crashing against the shore. Each twist of the Thames holds a treasure waiting to be discovered. Each back alley promises a new adventure that could beckon, should you allow your curiosity to guide you. Once back on solid ground, you feel a renewed sense of purpose wash over you, embracing the palpable energy of the night and all that you have experienced. You step off with your heart racing in excitement. Perhaps it's time to follow the moonlit banks of the Thames, weaving through the streets one more time to embrace the fading night. You drift along the river's edge, allowing the cool breeze to dance playfully with your hair, feeling invigorated by the adventure that surrounds you. As you walk, you search for a place where you can put thoughts to paper, a cozy nook to transform tonight's magic into words. Soon, you spot a small bench overlooking the water, framed by weeping willows that dip gracefully into the Thames's gentle embrace. It feels inviting, perfect for untangling your thoughts, for writing down the events of the evening in poetic whispers. Settling onto the bench, you pull out a small notepad from your pocket, accompanied by a well-worn pen that feels familiar in your hand. Taking in the beauty of the shimmering water reflecting the glow of the moon, you set your heart free, allowing thoughts to flow as easily as the river beside you. You write about the shared dreams exchanged in the tavern, about the whimsical key you now carry, and the adventures of the evening that sparkled like gems against the backdrop of darkness. Each word you inscribe resonates with the laughter, the newfound friendships, the spontaneity, transforming the magic around you into tangible poetry. With every stroke of the pen, you feel invigorated. The night breathes life into your creativity, pushing you to delve deeper into exploring how connections intertwine. how every moment shared births new narratives filled with splendor and hope. The gentle sound of the water lapping at the shore mingles with the swish of your pen, creating a serene symphony of inspiration. You're reminded of the night spirit, the warm glow of companionship, and how each encounter serves as an invitation to connect deeper with the world and those within it. As the hours drift by, the words flow freely, and you lose yourself in the rhythmic cadence of your writing, a quiet moment of joy pulsing through your fingertips. You laugh softly at your epiphanies on the page, the moonlight illuminating the newfound perspectives you hadn't considered before, like a puzzle coming together beautifully. Just as you start to wrap up an entry, you feel the urge to glance at the streets behind you, feeling a subtle shift, a slight rustle. You turn to see a small group of fellow night wanderers, friendly faces silhouetted against the winding path, looking for new adventures. "Mind if we join you?" one of them calls, a bright smile lighting up their features. You wave them over, welcoming the spirit of camaraderie to fill the cozy nook. As they settle nearby, the conversations flow naturally once more, laughter peppering the air, mingling beautifully with your own reflections. You soon find yourself delving into discussions about dreams, art, and the beauty of serendipity that characterizes the night. The energy is intoxicating, each person contributing tales and aspirations as if bidding for their part to be etched into the fabric of the night. You share your poetic musings, reflecting on the magic of connection and the ever-present intertwining of lives that keeps the pulse of London alive. With renewed cheer, the atmosphere around you brims with vibrancy. The bonds created in these fleeting moments bring life to the night once more. With laughter echoing and stories weaving together like threads, each interaction holds the sweet promise of friendship and inspiration, deepening your sense of belonging. As you eventually bid farewell, hearts light with gratitude and the excitement of meeting new people, it becomes evident to you that London is a city of endless tales, where adventures await around every turn. With your notebook filled with sweet memories and stirring poetry, you walk back through the streets, alive with possibilities, ready to uncover new stories of your own as they unfold across this magnificent tapestry. Tonight has reminded you that life, with all its twists and turns, is best lived in the embrace of shared dreams and laughter. And with your heart swollen with joy and anticipation, you eagerly await the next chapter, knowing that every step taken brings you closer to the vibrant adventures yet to come. The night is still young, and you are ready to embrace it all. As you drift back through the enchanting streets of London, the soft notes of laughter and music still echo in your ears, wrapping the night in a shimmering veil of warmth and possibility. The experiences of the evening cling to you like a comfortable shawl, reassuring you that there's so much life to be explored, each moment unfolding like a treasure waiting to be found. With your notebook tucked safely under your arm, you feel a lightness in your stride, as if the city itself has become a part of you, its pulse quickening with the thrill of every adventure, every connection made. You follow the riverbank for a while longer, the Thames glistening under the moonlight, a beautiful ribbon weaving through the very heart of the city. The reflective ripples remind you of the stories you've encountered tonight. What lies beneath the surface often holds deeper currents of meaning and wonder. You find yourself wandering past a number of quaint little shops and stalls, some already beginning to close up for the night. A night market stretches out ahead, brightly lit and filled with the alluring scent of freshly baked bread mingling with the pungent aroma of fried fish. You can't resist its charm, and your stomach gives a gentle rumble in agreement. As you step inside, The chatter of vendors floating around you creates a comforting soundtrack where each sound seems to invite you to share in the joy of simple pleasures. You smile at the unsuspecting customers enjoying their late-night snacks, some exchanging jokes while others savor their food in quiet delight. It's a beautiful reminder of how food acts as a bridge, a universal connector among people, just as laughter and storytelling did tonight. Your eyes dart across the colorful offerings, and you find yourself gravitating toward a stall where a woman clad in a vibrant apron prepares intricate pastries. Her deft hands work quickly, filling tarts and pastries with delicious-looking fillings. "Would you care for a taste?" she asks with a warm smile, offering you a small sample of pastry dusted with powdered sugar that melts delicately on your tongue. Sweet dreams are made of these. You laugh at the cheeky pun, feeling that prickling excitement building within you once more. "Absolutely. What other treasures do you have hidden in your baking wizardry?" you ask, leaning in closer to examine her colorful array on display. A rainbow of delights that tug at your taste buds like invisible strings. "Oh my dear," she exclaims, her eyes twinkling with enthusiasm. "Let me tell you about my secret pecan tarts. Once you try them, you may just never leave." You can't help but smile as she describes her creations, each one sparking curiosity and igniting your appetite. Without hesitation, you decide to indulge in a couple of her specialties, the bittersweet pecan tarts calling to you like sirens across the sea. Handing over a few coins, you can't wait to savor every flavor, eager to unlock the simple delight of her treats, a celebration of life's bounty and the very essence of human creativity. With delights in hand, you make your way to a nearby bench to nestle down, watching the bustling night market continue its lively pace. The world around you feels vibrant, alive with laughter and flavors, and you bask in that lovely sense of community felt earlier. Whether it's the mingling flavors of food or the stories flowing freely like the beer at the pub, you realize that this city thrives on connection. You take a moment to reflect on the delicious pecan tart nestled in your hands. It isn't just an indulgent treat. It resonates with the evening you've had, woven into the very fabric of London's quaint evening economy. Each bit of sweetness infused with the laughter of those who gathered, stories shared, lives intertwined. As you take your first bite, you close your eyes, letting the rich and nutty flavors envelop your senses. A warm hug of buttery crispness and gooey goodness that fills you with a sense of contentment. You can't help but let out a barely contained giggle. This simple joy is what makes nights like this feel so quintessentially alive. Feeling even more inspired, you pull out your notebook again, eager to jot down your thoughts. The flavors you've experienced swirl in your mind, prompting reflections on how simple pleasures often weave together the most vibrant stories. You begin drafting suggestions for how food connects people. A thread binding together experiences shared at tables, at markets, and intimate gatherings. Each taste a note in the song of life. You scribble down memories of laughter-filled taverns, dream sharing in cozy booths, and now, this delightful vendor with her magical pastries. As you write, you feel that surge of creativity flowing through you, an insatiable desire to explore, to observe the stories unfolding in the world around you. With your heart brimming with inspiration, you finish your snack and look up from your notes to take in the lively scene around you. Couples giggle as they share baked goods. Families enjoy their treats gathered at benches draped in jovial air. And friends are introduced to fresh tastes, all served with generous portions of good humor. Soon enough, the night deepens further, the air infused with a crispness that hints at the arrival of dawn. You realize it's time for you to head home, but something tugs at your heart, a bittersweet yearning to keep chasing adventures that still await your touch. The warmth of the night wraps comfortably around you, an embrace filled with hope as you bid farewell to the night market, grateful for every experience it has gifted you. As you begin to retrace your steps, the city feels electric with potential. Every street a reminder that you are a part of something vast and beautiful. You pass by a few late-night revelers, their laughter echoing in the air. And as you do, a thought strikes you. There's a chance you may cross paths with them again, perhaps during another unexpected adventure. Once again, you meander through familiar avenues, savoring the essence of the night, the moon casting a silver glow on the stone, the distant sounds of the river steady and reassuring as you glide along. You make plans to revisit the poets, the musicians, and even the spirited vendor at the night market. You feel anticipation building for the day when you'll transform your fleeting memories into poetry and connect further with kindred spirits along the way. And as you glimpse the gentle outline of the Thames sprawling before you, the experiences you've embraced coalesce into a promise of more to come, a testament to the beauty of seeking, of being open to the unknown. This London, this city of dreams, feels like an ever-stretching canvas, ready for you to explore and paint with your own brushes of adventure and creativity. With your heart full and your spirit soaring, you take a deep breath, letting the night wash over you in all its splendor. Each corner of London holds potential for the next adventure, stories waiting to unfold, dreams yet to be shared, and moments of connection just around the bend. And you, ever eager, step forth into the woven tapestry of life, ready to embrace every twist and turn that carries you onward. With your newfound key to the heart of storytelling snug in your pocket and the locket twinkling gently against your chest, you know that tonight has merely opened the door to an ever-bright future filled with the magic of community, creativity, and the thrill of the journey yet to come. The adventures of tomorrow await, and you are ready to meet them head-on, eager to continue writing the tale of your life in this wondrous city.